If it's up to me. All right, guys. I just came from a workout, so I'm a little bit hungry, but we're in the middle of the desert and I'm doing some self-reflection, but also thinking about the past 2 years in business and what questions have conspired from conversations that I'm having with business owners and also the lack of business as well, which I'm going to dive into my experience with sales, right? And it's crazy because I'm not a sales guy, right? I'm a content guy, media manager, and what I've realized in the past, like I said, 2 years, and even then, what I realized back in Ohio is that a lot of you guys fucking suck at sales. And it's not no slight or diss, it's just what it is. Even before I started my business a while ago, I had been in sales, right? Bacon. My first job was in retail. A lot of my first jobs were in retail. So coincidentally, I started off in sales, my first retail job, and mind you, they wouldn't hire me at 17 at the warehouse, so I was 18 when I had started at H.H. Gregg when I was in sales, right? And most important thing I learned about sales is how good your customer service is, right? And communication skills, follow up, all that, etc., right? Being able to talk to people, learning how to talk to people, learning how to effectively communicate your message that you want to get across to other people. And now, mind you, I'm a fresh 18-year-old kid. I didn't read any self-help books or anything like that. I didn't have anybody around me to give me like advice and stuff about becoming a better person and personal development and stuff like that. None of that stuff existed back when I was in Ohio when I was a young 18-year-old kid. So coincidentally, I got into, after H.H. Gregg, I was in customer service, working at operations, and then I was also working at Michael's part-time because I was an art student at Art Institute of Cincinnati, so I was getting all my school supplies for super cheap, right? And that was also a retail job, and that retail job also helped me with sales because you got customers coming in and they may or may not be looking for a specific product or whatever, right, that they're coming in for. And I was always when I got into my first job and stuff like that, I always realized that customer service was number important because the customers coming in there for help. They're coming in for assistance and stuff like that. So you have to be able to effectively help them out and get them that product that they may or may not need for the time that they're walking in, right? And I even told my girlfriend this. I was like, I think a lot of people that didn't have retail jobs growing up never learned how to become really good with communication and sales and stuff like that because you have to deal with all types of people walking into the store. You have to be able to adapt to those conversations that people are having with you when you come into the store, and you have to be a personable person for them to shop and purchase from you. So I can walk into any retail store right now, no matter if I know the product or not, and be a very good salesperson because I know how to listen and communicate effectively to people, and also do the research to help them out with looking for that specific product. So I did years and years of retail, which led me up to me opening up my business. But like I said, prior till then, I didn't have any of the teachings or any of the sales coaches or anything like that. So I eventually became a sales manager at Finish Line, and I was one of the top sales managers in the district. Before I had started with Finish Line, I didn't want to come in as a sales associate because I was already good at sales. So not only was I a manager, but a sales manager, XYZ, one of the top sales in the building, and blah blah XYZ. But that's just a little bit more about this bird is chirping loud as shit. That's just a little bit more about my past and my experience in sales, but it has helped me become a very good, I wouldn't even call myself sales because I feel like I'm helping people, but it's allowed me to become a very effective person communicating my business and stuff to people. So fast forward to, not fast forward, let's get like right before I get into opening up my business. And I think it's important that, again, taking these customer service and communication skills with you into your business allows you to get better leads and to get better sales and to be able to help more people effectively because of that knowledge and that experience that you had previously with helping out clients in a retail type of space. Because these customers like I said, these customers are coming to you for a specific thing or a product or service. And if you don't know how to effectively communicate that to them, then you're not going to be good at selling your product or your service that you need to get to that client, right? So again, I never had any sales training prior to that. I don't think I ever read a book about sales training or watched a YouTube or anything about sales training. I always just did real life experience with me being able to effectively communicate my product and service to a person that needs me. And again, that comes from having very, very good communication skills and also, having that experience with selling products to people already that's not even your product. So it makes it better now because I'm actually selling a product that's mine and a service that's mine. And before, when you get into sales, you may or may not be fully wholehearted believe in that product or service. And that's why I was so good at Finish Line sales manager, because I love shoes, right? You know, you guys see me with shoes all the time. I'm always shopping for shoes and stuff like that. But that was something I loved to do. And it was easy for me to communicate that to people when I was selling them shoes because I knew my knowledge, I knew my information. I was a very personable person and I was easy to communicate. And then also you have kids coming in there too, and you got parents shopping for kids, they don't know what they want and stuff like that. And you having experience with kids as well, and having experience talking with all types of people allows you to be a better communicator to get that person in that specific product or service, right? So now I know I'm sweating and shit. We out in the desert, eating breakfast, just came from a workout. Fast forward to me moving to Arizona, a year into Arizona, and I start being a content creator and manager for a sales coach, right? And nothing I've ever experienced before, which is crazy, and I'm so glad, I'm so blessed I had that full year. And the person I was creating content for and managing his content, he inadvertently became my sales coach. I was there for a year. I learned so much knowledge and information about sales and how to effectively do better at sales, right? And I took all that information and knowledge and applied it towards my business and became a very effective person to be able to communicate and also take my business to the next level because of all that information and knowledge that I learned. And at the end of the day, if you're not effectively communicating your product or service to the person that you want to sell to, you're not going to make the sale. And I think sometimes as people in sales or helping out people or whatever, I think we fast forward the part of getting to know people and also building relationships with people and in order to understand that person. And I don't think, like right now, what I've been seeing in the past 2 years is these sales guys just hopping into your inbox and trying to sell you something immediately. They don't get to know you. They're not showing support for your social media platforms, right? They're not showing support for your business. So for somebody to just immediately jump into a conversation trying to sell somebody without showing previous support or actually having a relationship with that person, and you immediately trying to sell something, it throws people off, right? And not only that, sometimes as people in sales, we're trying to sell something to somebody that don't need our product or service, and the people that's on the other side that's selling, they don't do the necessary research of information on that person in order for it to be the right candidate that you should be selling to. So it's just, I don't know, man. Like I said, my experience in sales has been it's been amazing. It's been wonderful. I've gotten to get to know so many people, and again, having effective communication and having effective knowledge about your business or your product or service, and to be able to explain it to that person that you're trying to sell to is super, super important. I am going to walk away on this video by saying, if you want to get better at sales, and you're new in sales, I would immediately go get a sales job. And especially if, and I'm not even talking to the business owners right now, because the business owners, that's a whole nother level. I have known business owners that trying to get into business and they never been in sales, and I'm like, well, that's the whole thing of business. You have to be able to effectively communicate to your clients or possible client to be able to sell your product or change their life, or however you want to say it, right? If you're not good at that, you will not effectively get the income that you're trying to make and generate the revenue that you're trying to make for your business if you're not good at sales. So again, guys, Matthew Cone. We're in the desert. We're in Arizona. Make sure you guys hit the like and subscribe. And if you have any other questions or comments, leave them down below. Peace.